Right, here we go, a whole video cram-packed full of Motone goodness. I've got a lot to pack in, so bear with me. First of all, obviously, we've had this whole coronavirus thing which has affected industry in a huge way. And Motone, as you know, have been working with a skeleton staff in order to observe social distancing rules. The end result of this is that they are running low on stocks of some of the most popular items. We have their X-Pipes, which I think are probably the best engineered X-Pipes on the market for the liquid cooled Bonnevilles. Apparently these are on the verge of going out of stock, as are the crate skinny seats. Now, as it stands at the moment, they have a huge backlog in the production process for these and some other parts, so it may be some time before they come back in stock. So I'm just giving you the heads up that when these items do disappear off the stock list, they may be gone for a while before returning. Now, the good news is that they have got some new stuff coming into stock very shortly. The black billet gas caps, again one of their most popular items, they've got 150 of these coming into stock as soon as they've gone through the finishing process. I think they've just got to get them anodised and then respun. They'll be back in stock in the next week or so. They've also got some new silencers coming in for the Street Twin. They'll be in black and in a satin stainless steel finish. Now, these are based on the Saturn 5 silencers that I've shown you on the bobber. Now, these are a first edition production run, so numbers are going to be very limited on these. And if they're anything like the bobber version, they make a gorgeous sound. Now, speaking of the bobber version, I am expecting a pre-production version for test in the next few weeks, so keep an eye out for that. And just a reminder that Motone Customs have set up a stock alert system on their site now. So if there's something you want that is out of stock, sign up and they will alert you by email the minute it comes back into stock. Now, I seem to remember Sam also mentioned a new slash-cut straight-through silencer for the bobbers called the Bedlam. It looks interesting, and I'll bring some news on that to you as soon as it becomes available. Now, Rule Britannia. As you know, this is an offer that Motone Customs have been running through this channel for viewers of this channel throughout the lockdowns. My understanding originally was that when the lockdowns were finally lifted, the offer would go away. I've checked with Sam for clarification on this because I think there's only Wales now that is still on a full lockdown, and there are rumours that it may be getting lifted after this weekend. Sam's view on this was that it might appear a little bit greedy if he suddenly takes this offer away and puts the prices back up the minute people are out riding again. So he's going to keep this running for the foreseeable future. I don't know exactly how long the foreseeable future is, but it's going to continue running for now. And just as a reminder, the 15% discount code is BRITANNIA, and I will leave that in the video description down below along with a link to Motone's website. Next up, Motone's photograph competition. Apparently they've had something like 3 or 4 times more entrants to this competition than the first month, but we're still getting an awful lot of people not adhering to the rules, so they've been disqualified. I'll quickly go through those rules again. In order to be eligible for this competition, you must have a Motone Customs part fitted to your bike and clearly visible in at least one of the photographs, and you're allowed up to 3 photographs. The photographs must be taken in landscape mode and not portrait mode. You must have at least one full-length photograph of your motorcycle, and the photograph must be taken on private property in order to demonstrate or simulate that it was taken during the lockdown. If any of these elements are missing from the photographs, they will instantly be disqualified. Your photograph entries should be emailed to Sam, and again I'll leave the email address in the video description down below, and it must be entitled Uncle Stu's photo competition. For this month's competition, you have up until Saturday evening to get your competition entries in. They will be judged on Sunday and Monday. There is a fantastic prize pool available to one outright winner, and I think it was 4 runners-up, and the winner will be announced in a special video on Wednesday. In a moment, we're going to have a look at Motone's new brass shock mount finishing kit. But first of all, people keep asking me in the comments about the side panels on the T120. Over the last few months, you may have noticed some matte black side panels on the T120. These are prototypes. Now, people have been asking me what they were and what they're all about, so I thought I would tell you in this video. Not many custom parts manufacturers make side panels to OEM quality because they are extremely difficult and extremely expensive things to develop. Now, myself and Sam at Motone, as you're probably aware, have had this agreement long term that when it gets parts to a certain prototype level, he starts sending them through to me for, well, for want of a better word, approval. And then between us we go through a stage of finessing the parts to get them up to production level. Now, a lot of these parts are 3D prints, and the parts you may already have seen in videos sort of in the background have been the left hand side panels. We're now working on the right hand side panel. Now, these have been quite difficult for Motone because they're going for a sort of 1960s pared back look. They are a fairly conventional looking side panel, but they make the bike very slim at the waist. Now, I don't hear it so often nowadays. I used to hear it a lot about Motone parts being expensive. But it's this kind of development work that makes Motone Customs products stand out. Okay, this is just a rough 3D print, but the time and expense put into getting it up to this level is partly what you're paying for with Motone Customs. Once these products come to fruition, they are OEM quality or better. Like all Motone Customs parts, they fit as well as the original OEM parts. But what they are not is a generic knockoff part like a lot of the cheaper parts that we see around. These are genuine original designs by Motone Customs. This is why Motone Customs parts are often copied, because your lower end custom parts manufacturers or vendors don't have the skills, the equipment or the knowledge, let alone the finances, to develop their own parts to this quality. Now, I've genuinely lost count of how many of these 3D print side panels I've tested on my bike over the last year, but there's a lot. And I do believe we're almost there with them now. There's just a little bit of finessing and a few adjustments to make, and I'll let you know as soon as they come into production. And finally, the brass parts. Now, I've always found it strange that people hanker after black parts. I think in some respects it's the look to match the machine, but there's also this misnomer that black parts are easy to look after. They're not. They're probably the hardest parts to look after, especially if they're matte. And if it ever comes to a choice between silver and black, I will go for silver every time. Whether it be chrome, stainless steel or some form of clear aluminium. But having said that, black has slid down slightly on the popularity scales recently, and it is now considered that brass is the new black. It's been 3 or 4 years now since Motone first dipped their toes in brass parts, something that absolutely no one else was doing at the time and no one else had considered. And since then, Motone's range of brass parts has grown and grown. And although they are still developing new brass concepts, they've also decided to go back and revisit some of their old lines and give them a bit of brass treatment. Because brass is class. Motone's shock mount finishing kits are an old favourite. They've been around forever and they're still very popular. They're an ideal and relatively inexpensive way of getting rid of those ugly fasteners that hold your shock absorbers on and replace them with something that has a bit more class. Formerly they were available in, I think, 2 flavours, a black anodised alloy and a spun or polished alloy. But now there's a brass version. Still the same high quality engineering, still the same shape, still the same size, but this time made out of heartwarming, glorious, engineering grade spun brass. Now each set comes with 2 sets of high quality stainless steel fasteners. Now in both cases the fasteners are M8 threads to suit the Triumph Bonnevilles, both the air-cooled and the liquid-cooled. But they will be supplied in each kit with 4 30mm versions and 4 25mm versions. Now the 30mm versions, which is the one that I'm showing you here now, are for the older air-cooled Bonnevilles. I don't have the 25mm versions to show you yet, the reason being that Motone had a little problem getting hold of 25mm versions in a quality that they were happy with, so they just sent me this initial kit ahead of the others arriving. They do now have the 25mm versions ready to bundle up with any kits that go out from now, and they sent a set out to me on Tuesday, but as of the day that I was making this video, Royal Mail had let us down and still hadn't delivered them. So I must apologise for that. Now the reason for 2 lengths are the old air-cooled twins have a deeper thread than the new water-cooled twins. So the 30mm fasteners are for the older air-cooled twins, and the 25mm fasteners are for the newer water-cooled twins. As I've said, these have been a really popular item for years, and I think this new brass version is without a doubt going to be very popular. They are a huge improvement over these rather industrial looking fasteners that Triumph use. Just one of those parts that is relatively inexpensive and can make a big impact on the way a bike looks. It's small details like this that can make an enormous impact to the overall appearance of a bike. A fantastic way of getting rid of those scabby plated fasteners and replacing them with something that has a bit of class. Now, I'm not going to do a full fitting video because as you've just seen in the last minute or so, they are a piece of cake to fit. Just one caution, and that is that Triumph use an awful lot of thread lock in these threads, so you might need to clean them out with a tap set before putting your new fasteners in, and your fasteners should be fastened up to 28 Newton meters. It is quite literally a 5-minute job, something anyone can manage. And I will of course leave a link to these finishers in the video description down below. Right, that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow with the virtual rad, I think on the Bullet this time, so that'll be tomorrow morning. Once again, thank you so much for watching this and my other videos, and in doing so helping to support this channel. I really do appreciate it. I do hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you are subscribed, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you can be informed whenever I upload a new video. So until tomorrow morning, if you have to ride, please ride carefully, and I'll see you soon.